want our country. We want our country back. We want our country back so that we can run our country and other countries can run themselves the way they like to be run. That's really the upshot of it. Second of all is many people may know about Brian Gerrish. I understand the Freedom Party are having Brian Gerrish maybe doing some writing for the Freedom Party. And I understand that the British Resistance is also going to be talking to Brian Gerrish, some kind of meeting going on. So we've got something in common, haven't we? Okay? That is, it's non-political, but it's a way of bringing people together. We've also got Albert Burgess, who also tells you about the Magna Carta, also tells you about why we should never be in the EU, and how we got in the EU, and who's committed treason, and how difficult it is these days to actually get anybody, the police. I'm not drifting away, I'm trying to reconcile. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, sorry Bertie, that is all very interesting, but I didn't want us to drift away from the main point. I think by turning up here this evening, we've shown that we're prepared to forgive and forget. It might interest you to know that I'm hoping that I've reached an agreement with one of the most difficult people in the world to reach an agreement with, and that would be Lee Barnes. And if we can agree not to rip each other's throats out, then there's hope for us all. I'll never be able to reach agreement with Simon Bennett, sorry, advance date, but there you go. We will try our best, and I give you my word of honour that no one, I will not break this word. You will not find me attacking fellow nationalists again. However, there is this rider. I do not consider Patrick Harrington a nationalist. I just had to say that. No, he couldn't be here this evening.
Right, now I'm going back to what I was saying. This is the whole point. This is the whole point of why we're in this room in the first place. It's to find out what we've got in common and what we've got in common to come up in the future. That's the whole point I brought up about Brian Gerrish, Albert Burgess. Also, there's many others as well. There's the Core, what's his name, Core? Is it Jim Core of the Cores? It's so much in common. And this is what we need to find. A, what we got in common to bring that all together. So we're all singing from more or less the same hymn sheet. And also, of course, EDL. They also could be brought into the fold in looking and seeing what's going on and why they end up having to, I don't know, to sort of go on the streets whinging about, well, say complaining about Islamic extremists. They've just seen how a so-called Islamic extremist has just been treated a £50 fine for burning a poppy. Well, you know, so this is the whole thing, isn't it, really? It's finding out what we've all got in common. Yes, we will argue a bit, we will have differences, but I think on the whole, most of the things we talk about really we're going to have in common, aren't we? It's also remembering about the New World Order, and anybody who thinks the New World Order is not something that's happening this, that and the other. Well, we've got umpteen videos we can play you where the world leaders are actually saying about the New World Order. They actually tell you. Gordon Brown couldn't tell you often enough. I don't know, you know, why people don't believe it is actually happening. And of course, the New World Order is one totalitarian ideology, and Islam is another totalitarian ideology. And nationalism is really just looking after your own country, isn't it? Trade with them, you know, be friendly with other countries, but enjoy. That's true diversity. Everybody having their own culture, their own country, their own language. That's true diversity. So anyway, at the end of the day, it's finding things we got in common. That's really what will bring us together, is finding what we have got in common. And I think the British Resistance site is going to get bigger very soon. It's going to start growing very, very much bigger because of all the new people that will be joining in and joining up. Well, Foxy Man, I don't actually know. I haven't actually seen any court cases where the EDL have been convicted of hurting anyone. Have you? Have you actually got any court cases where the EDL have been fined or well, jailed for attacking anyone? Well, I haven't. Well, the EDL's prescribed for the BNP, so you know you wouldn't be able to join the EDL necessarily if you're in the BNP, but it doesn't mean that you can't talk about them because they are part and parcel of what's happening in this country.
Yeah, before I hand the mic over to you, guys, the mic is open for everything. I do think that the room's gone part way to building bridges. We're going to have to work on it. You will not find me attacking individuals again. You have my word on that. I hope you reciprocate. And I ask all regular people in this room to desist from attacks on the British Democracy Forum, perhaps interfering and gloating at the mishaps of other political parties. It's really nothing to do with us. We want to work together now. With that in mind, we'll probably start carrying links to these sites as well. With regards to the National Front, they're a nationalist movement. I'm sure that things we can reach agreement with them with. We need to be a broader church. A gentleman earlier on said that we must agree on 5 principles. I don't know what the 5 principles he was referring to, but we've got to list the things we all agree on. So the mic is open, guys. Please keep it civil. You know, I do mean this. It's Mr. Griffin, Mr. Butler, Mr. Bennett, Mr. Barnes, even perhaps Mr. Arrington, I don't know. No, open season on him. No, joking aside. I really do thank you all for coming into the room this evening. It means a lot. Not wasted. And I hope that the British Resistance site, well, no, it can still be open, but the British Resistance site is there to publish anything that you want us to wish that is suitable to go out, and we welcome your writers, and you can link back to your own sites. Yeah, Mike, Johnny.
Okay, thank you. One of the reasons that Mr. Eddie Butler was attacked so ferociously last year, before he was even down to stand as candidate for nomination for the leadership of the party, was basically all down to him being sacked. And the reason he was sacked, as we all know now, or most of us know now, is because he wanted to raise an issue on the Advisory Council. Anyone has any doubt that our party was in massive debt after the European elections 2 years ago nearly now, you only have to look at the amount of begging letters from Jim Dowson in Belfast you got for the door each and every week, non-stop, ferocious emotional blackmail to get money into the party. The party was in financial debt then, big debt then. And when Nick Griffin went on air after the general election last year, and he stated that we were the only major political party in the black, and it turns out after the nominations were over, he declared that we were £600,000 in debt. And before then he said that he would show the books to the Advisory Council. On the eve of the Advisory Council after the general election, the 2 impartial people on that Advisory Council, Mr. Richard Edmonds and Mr. Ken Booth, were both sacked. So we still don't really know what the financial situation is in the party. And what I'm told is that we are, you know, that there is bailiff circuits. They are visiting people from the party already for a debt of £46,000 only this week.
I also have the figures for the donations received as a result of all the recent appeals. You only have to have a look at the donations for the Welsh Assembly. A complete disaster for Wales. We've known about the Welsh Assembly elections for how many years? Now an appeal goes out for the funds. Another mistake. You saw the article. I don't know how many of you read the article about the missed opportunities in Wales. That made me sick. That broke my heart. Yes. Where did the money go? I asked Jim Dowson, where did the money go? He said, well, I got the money in, I had my commission, and it went to the party. Where it went from there, I have no idea. Why don't you ask Hannam? what he meant by that. I've no idea. I'm just speaking openly and honestly what I know. That's all I know, guys.
All right, I'm going to be popping off soon. I just like to say to GA, thanks for this evening. It's been very enlightening, and it's refreshing to see that we can actually hold decent conversations, apart from a couple of people, obviously. And that's what nationalism needs. We don't all necessarily have to agree on everything, but we all agree on we want what's best for our country. So once again, I'd like to say thank you, and I will see you all later.
Thank you, Dino. I don't know if he's gone. No, he's still here. Dino, thank you for that. Listen, if you could talk to as many people as you know, tell them what has happened here this evening. The British resistance is here to assist nationalism wherever it can. I've apologised for my past behaviour. I can't do no more than that. Some of what I said was justifiable, some of it was not. Let's hope we can work together, and let's hope we don't have to fight side by side on the street. Let's hope we can win politically before we have to fight on the streets.
Yeah, I think one of the difficulties is... oh, lost me bloody page now. Hold on, where are we to? Oh, God. There we are, back there. I was going to address what... it said it in the room. It said about why didn't you listen to the people? Who was it said that? Oh, bloody, I can't scroll up now. Anyway, yeah, one of the problems being, of course, is you are going to get people that just cause trouble for no reason, or join to cause trouble for no reason. And it's a bit like me saying to Advanced, or saying in the room tonight when Advanced Ape is not here, saying that, oh, Advanced Ape helped himself to £100,000 in the till. And I put that about, and next day there's 10,000 other, well, 50 other people asking, oh, what happened to the money then, Advanced Ape? And, you know, without no proof of anything. And that's the problem with when people put things in, you know, or say things or do things with no proof.
You've got company.
You know, and that's the whole problem, isn't it? Is there are people that will say things that are just untrue without any proof. And it would be good when somebody says something that, oh, you know, Nick Griffin put, you know, £1 million disappeared in Nick Griffin's back pocket, or he's got it under his mattress. If they actually had some pictures of a mattress, or you know, some kind of factual thing, or court case, or whatever, or maybe tell the media, because the media would love to know that, wouldn't they? If Nick Griffin was ever snaffling away money somewhere, and you knew and you had proof of it, and you give it to the media, and the media would actually love it, wouldn't they? So that's the whole thing. It's well, the Marmite court cost was very minimal, wasn't it? A lot of publicity. It probably wasn't the right thing to do in some respects, but what, less than £8,000, or well, apparently it was less than £8,000 to get about £2 million worth of publicity. It wasn't 170,000, as far as I know. It was around about 8 or 9,000. It was. No, it wasn't according to the reports that came out. It could well have been. It could well have been. I don't really believe that much now these days. Anyway, Advanced Ape, your mic.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank the admin team and Green Arrow for hosting quite a productive night. I'll go back and speak to the executive of British Freedom Party just to let them know everything you said, really.
Yeah. So, you know, all things are open. Obviously, we don't want to be arguing amongst ourselves, and let's go onward, upwards. Like I said, we got some extra little things, as in non-political things we all agree on as well. We probably will play some Brian Gerrish stuff in probably tomorrow night. A good little Brian Gerrish video of him speaking. It's only about less than a month ago. So anybody's welcome to that, to come in and listen to it and talk about it afterwards, because that's something we certainly got in common.
Okay then, guys. Well, the room is open for debate now. As we said, what we will do is I suggest that we make admins, well, in a few days, people from different parties, and the sensible people, because we do have people who unfortunately who are not as knowledgeable as ourselves with regards to politics, and they tend to see things as black and white, your team, my team, stuff like that.